Welcome back to another 90 Day Fiancé recap. Let's talk about Before the 90s Season 7, Episode 13. This was a great episode, so let's just get right into it. Starting with Joe and Magda. I thought it was absolutely hilarious that a producer actually asked Joe, why do you call her Magna when it's Magda? And he's like, oh, I did? Oh, I didn't even notice. Yeah, Magda? That sounds kind of weird.
Is it Magda or Magda?
I don't know.
Oh my God. So he doesn't even know that he was calling her Magna this whole time. And according to her, she's like, yeah, I don't know why he doesn't pronounce it right, but I don't really care because I love him. They got an Airbnb for his trip and they had to walk up this huge, ginormous, long staircase. And it's a very cute apartment. And it has 2 rooms. She wants to sleep in separate rooms, and Joey's not too excited about that. She's like, oh, I don't really know him that well. I mean, we just met in person. Plus, he slept with another girl a couple months ago, so he needs to earn my trust. And I'm thinking, smart cookie. After they settle in, they go out and explore the town, and it's so beautiful there. I had no idea Poland looked like that. It actually reminded me a lot of Italy. While they're eating, he asks if he really needs to sleep in a separate room, and she's like, yeah, you do, buddy. And he's struggling with this. He doesn't understand how she wants kids and to be a mother right away, but she won't even sleep in the same room with him. He needs to calm down. They literally just met for the first time in person. Like, chill. Holy moly, he's so annoying. The next morning, he wakes up and he runs to Magda's room for a morning cuddle. She tells him she doesn't want to have schmecks until they're engaged. And he's like, what? Now I have to wait even longer? She's like, yeah, I mean, after all, schmecks isn't the most important thing, you know? And he's like, it's pretty damn important to me. He's panicking. He's like, oh my God, can I really do this? Like, I thought I had to wait a couple weeks, but now we gotta wait until I propose? And on top of that, once they're engaged and once they have schmecks, what if they're not schmexually compatible? And she's like, okay, well, we'll figure it out then. Plus, I don't trust you yet, so I can't have schmecks with you until I trust you. The next day, they go to a cooking class. They make these things that look like pretzels. Then they go to a vodka tasting. He takes a couple shots. And now Magda's going to confront him about the time he, quote, cheated. She's like, how can you sleep with another woman while I was wearing a fake engagement ring so that the guys here would leave me alone? Like, I was telling everybody that I was engaged and you're hooking up with other girls? And he's like, I had no idea you were doing that. Like, we never made it official, so I didn't know. And she goes, so if I never asked you the question, when did you last sleep with a girl, then you would have never told me and I would have never known. And he goes, well, we started talking in March and I slept with that girl in April. And she goes, April was my birthday. So you were sending me flowers for my birthday while fucking another girl. How many more are there? And he goes, just that one. Do we believe him, by the way? I don't know. I don't know if it was just that one. I don't know. She's really upset. And she's truly acting as if he cheated in their relationship. But like, I feel like she has to let that one go. Because they started talking in March. He hooked up with another girl in April. And they didn't even make it official. They didn't have that conversation like, what are we? Are we official? Are we exclusive? So how is that cheating? How was he supposed to know? Like, I have to be with Joe on this one. I don't know. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel? Let's talk about Vanya and Bojo. So remember, Vanya walks out of the restaurant crying. Bojo's friends are like, dude, what's wrong with you? She's an amazing, beautiful woman. She came all the way here to be with you. And Bojo goes, I know, but I don't feel it. Like, what do you guys want me to do? I don't feel the chemistry and I can't fake it. You want me to fake it? And they're like, oh, well, go after her. And so he's like, oh, okay. So he walks out. And she spots him and she's like, no, Bojo, go away. I don't want to talk to you right now. And he's like, oh, Vanya, but I feel so bad. Okay, maybe when you're feeling better, we can talk. And she's like, no, I don't want to talk to you. Go away. No. And he's like, okay, God bless you. And then he leaves her alone. I mean, yeah, she did not want to talk to him. So he respected her space and he left. In his interview, he says that he feels so bad that he doesn't like feel the chemistry in real life, but he can't fake it. He can't force it. What is he supposed to do? And I agree. Like, I feel for him You know, and I feel for Vanya. I feel really bad for her, but I also feel for him because he didn't expect for this to happen. They were vibing. They had all this chemistry that he thought he was in love with the woman he was texting. And then when she came in real life, something about the energy was off. Maybe he wasn't as physically attracted to her after meeting her and like feeling her energy. He says that she was in a rush. She was too much. She was like overbearing a little. And he just... I don't know. I think he got the ick. So the next morning, Vanya wakes up to a voice message from Bojo asking her to meet him for a friendly lunch as true friends. And she's like, oh my God, this message is pissing me off. I don't even want to meet with him, but I might as well get some answers. So they meet at an outdoors cafe. And it looked really, really cold. Like, it's super windy. She's in a coat and he's in a t-shirt. And she's like, aren't you cold? And he's like, no. And he says this as he's shivering. He's like, no, I'm good. So she's like, why'd you lead me on? You say you love me. You tell me to come here and you want to start a future with me. And now I'm here and you don't want to be with me? And he's like, I never said I love you. And she pulls out her phone and she locates the text messages where he literally said, I love you. And then he's like, oh, I guess I did say that. Oops. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. And she's like, oh, so you think this is a joke? You're laughing? Oh, God. Awkward. Listen, in my opinion, he's trying to put her down very, very gently. But she will not let it die. He's like, I had feelings for you when we were texting, but in person, for some reason, the chemistry is not there. And she's like, when? When did the chemistry die? At the airport? At the cooking class? At dinner? When? There's no point to any of this questioning. Like, it really doesn't matter. He doesn't feel it. You need to let it go. I know she's hurt and I know she's trying to get answers, but he literally told her over and over and over in a very nice way that he just doesn't feel it anymore and he wants to be friends. How many more times is she going to beat a dead horse? And he's like, I really would like to stay friends. And she's like, I don't want to stay friends. Okay, if you want to be friends, it's over. And she finally gets up and leaves. Thank God. Finally. And then we can hear her say she wants to pack up and go back to America. So is it over? Are they done? Are we never going to see them again? But then in the previews, we see her having a drink outside. I think it was like a cup of coffee and a stranger approaches her. And he's like, oh, you're such a beautiful woman. And she's like, oh, thank you. And he's like, I'm married. I'm in a relationship, but we're open. And she's like, okay. Let's move on to Brian and Ingrid. So they go out to meet his friend whose name is also Brian. So we're going to call him Brian number 2. So Brian number 2 is like, so are things settled with your ex? And Brian number 1 says, our divorce is not final yet. She won't come to the hearing. She won't listen to the lawyers. So this is his 4th divorce. And Ingrid had no idea. She's like, it's your 4th one? I thought you only got married twice. And then she also finds out that he was engaged an additional 3 times on top of his 4 marriages. And she's like, wow, that's a lot. And he's like, meh, that depends. And she's like, okay, so did you tell all your other fiancés your real age? And he's like, yeah, I have no reason to lie. And she's like, oh, but you lied to me, so I was the only one you lied to and said you were 45 too? And this jackass says, oh my God, I cannot believe he said this. He was like, no, I only said 45 on my dating profile because I didn't want any 50-year-old women coming after me. This 50-year-old man really said that he did not want any 50-year-old women. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? You know what? It makes sense because only a very, very young girl whose prefrontal cortex didn't fully develop yet would put up with his grimy, stupid ass. Ingrid isn't happy with all of this new information that she's finding out, and he's accusing her of being too judgmental. He plays victim again. He's like, she's judging me for my past. She's judging me for my disability. She's judging me for my past marriages. And now she's judging me for my age. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you that freaking obtuse? What the forkin' forkity fork to fork? God, it bothers me so much that he always plays the victim. And he's like, oh, now she's age shaming me. Oh, now she's judging me for my past. No, she's judging you because you're a liar. Whew, I need to calm down. Where are my garden gummies? I need to pop a garden gummy next time before I recap. Next is Faith and Lauren. She takes him out to a food market and they get some grilled chicken intestines called Esau. They're enjoying each other's companies, and then Faith accepts Lauren as her boyfriend. And I know we were all collectively going, no! Don't do it, Faith. Don't do it. Now he's thinking of ways they can get married so that he can be a permanent resident in the Philippines, but the Philippines does not allow same-sex marriage. However, Thailand does. So he's like, why don't we go over there, get married, and then come back? But that might be complicated, so why don't I marry your mom? And she's like, what? What? Okay, thank you for your valiant effort. I will need to take some time to process this, and I will get back to you in about 3 business days. And then in her interview, she's like, does he even care about me? Does he just want to stay in the Philippines for some reason? Because he's homeless? Oh God, Faith. Oh God. I wanted to reach inside the TV screen and grab Faith's hand and just pull her away from Lauren. Get her the F away from him. They go back to her mom's house and they do karaoke. They're singing Christmas songs. They're having a blast. They really like Lauren. Then they eat some mangoes with shrimp paste, and now it's time to leave. And on their way out, Lauren thinks it's a fantastic idea to tell the mom that he wants to marry her. And as he was finishing his sentence, everybody looked at him like he was freaking nuts. And then they burst into laughter and they're like, oh, it's a joke. Little do they know he was absolutely 1000% serious. Vea and Sunny have a very, very, very short scene. Like, they really could have just put this scene into last week's episode and we didn't even need to see them in this week. But yeah, they put this 5-minute scene in. But remember in the last episode, he walked out on them because Vea couldn't choose between him and Rory. And so she's chasing after him. She's like, Sunny, come here, Sunny. I don't want you to leave, Sunny. I want to figure this out, Sunny. He goes, you chose him. No, I didn't. Then tell him to go home. I can't take this. This is too much for me, Vea. I want to be with you, Sunny. I love you. I choose you. Then you gotta send him home. Okay, I'll do it, Sunny. I choose you. I love you, Sunny. So once she agrees that she's gonna send Rory home, he's happy and they walk back together. Last but not least, let's end it with Niles and Matilda because, woo, this was juicy. And I am concerned for their relationship after this episode. So first, they're being very adorable per usual. I'm like, oh my God, things are still going well. Thank God, they're my favorite couple. And she reminds them today that they need to speak to Mr. Ark, like ASAP. So they go see him and oh my God, you guys, did you lose your absolute shit when Niles went to go shake his hand and he didn't have a hand? Mr. Ark didn't have a hand. He looked down to shake it. He's like, oh, you don't have a hand. I'm so sorry. I didn't know you had a hand. He starts freaking out. I lost my shit. I laughed so hard.
Hi, Mr. Ark.
Hello. Well, welcome.
Oh my God. Niles is very nervous, but he gets the courage to ask him if he would represent him with in the marriage with Matilda. And he gladly agrees, and Niles is relieved. And he tells Mr. Ark, so the knocking ceremony is in a few days, and then I'm going to head back to America and then come back later for the marriage. And Mr. Ark goes, no, that is unacceptable. This is not what we do here. You do not go back home after a knocking ceremony. Apparently, it's not like in America where you propose and then you can stay engaged for a year or 2 or 3 or 10 before getting married. Like, you do the knocking ceremony and it's very serious and you have to get married. He's very overwhelmed. And he's like, okay, can I just talk to you for a second? So they go on a walk. They're hand in hand. How adorable. And this time, Niles chose the right hand. I mean, not the right hand, like the correct hand. Anyway, I thought it was so wholesome. And then he lets Mr. Ark know that he met Matilda's family already and already told them that he was going to do the knocking ceremony and then go back. And Mr. Ark is mortified. He's like, no. That is not what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to come see me first. And Niles is like, okay, well, I didn't know. And also, like, the reason why I can't get married right away is I need to save money. Matilda told me that I need to pay for the food to feed 90 people. I need to get gifts for the family. And Mr. Ark goes, no. None of that is necessary. Okay, you don't need anything. You just need to do the marriage. That's it. It's very simple. And then he tells Niles, don't listen to women because women lie.
Mr. Ark! Sir! The fuck?
So Mr. Ark basically told Niles that Matilda lied to him. And Niles is like, oh, my goodness, I shouldn't have trusted her. That was my mistake. And Mr. Ark goes, yes, my child, that is correct. Okay, you should have came to me before meeting Matilda's family. Because apparently, and someone correct me if I got this wrong, I was a little bit confused. But I think the tradition is they were supposed to go see Mr. Ark first, since he is representing Niles, since his parents won't. And then Mr. Ark and Niles, they were supposed to go see her parents together. Niles hears all this and he's like, oh my God, Matilda lied to me. She gave me all the wrong information. She's tricking me. So they walk back to Matilda. And Niles asks her, you knew all along I was supposed to meet Mr. Ark before meeting your parents? And she's like, yes. But she looks very upset. And again, I was kind of confused as to what really was going on here because she wasn't speaking much. She just looked very frustrated and she wasn't saying much. I don't know if it was because she didn't want to disrespect Mr. Ark and like argue in front of him. But Niles started to get agitated and Mr. Ark tells him to calm down. Don't raise your voice at her. Don't do this. And Matilda, again, is very quiet. Now, according to Niles, Matilda lied. And according to Matilda, Niles lied. So I don't really know what's happening here. If you guys have any, like a better idea, please let me know in the comments. The meeting with Mr. Ark is over. They go to the car to go back home. And they get into an argument. Matilda says he totally embarrassed her. He disgraced her. And now she's like known as a liar, and the whole community and her family, like everyone's going to think that she lied and she didn't. Niles is like, why didn't you tell me about Mr. Ark? And she looks at him and she's like, I did tell you about Mr. Ark. I told you you need to talk to him and that it's very important. And Niles confirms this, but he's like, but you didn't tell me how important it was. Like, I didn't know the order. Like, I had to talk to him first. And he also let me know that the knocking ceremony doesn't have to be a big deal. I don't have to get food for 90 people and I don't have to get gifts. And Matilda goes, I have a lot of friends and family that I want to invite. And Niles says, okay, but you told me that you needed $200 from me. And she goes, yes, for the food. I wanted to invite so many people because your side of the family isn't coming and I wanted you to feel loved with a lot of people. And he's like, okay, but I'm autistic. I don't like a lot of people. I don't like crowds. I'm an introvert. And she's like, I don't ask anything from you, okay? Yeah, I asked you for $200. $200 is like nothing. And she's freaking out because once again, her reputation is ruined and he painted her as a liar and she's very embarrassed. And she's expressing all this and she's yelling and she's agitated and he's clearly very, very overstimulated. And he tells her to stop talking right now. And it seems like in the next episode, he says that he had a change of heart. He like saw this different side of Matilda and he doesn't know if she's lying. He doesn't know if he can trust her and he might not marry her. What do you guys think? I'm like, no, you guys were the only couple I was rooting for. I personally don't think Matilda's using him. I really, first of all, he doesn't have any money. I mean, I guess you could argue that she just wants to get to America, but like, maybe, but I do think she really loves him too. And also I think she's getting a lot of pressure from like her family, like her mom's in her ear, her sister's in her ear. Like they probably think Niles is an American. He's rich. Come on, ask for this money. You can do this for the wedding. Like do this. He can afford it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I just truly think that she loves him. And also, as for Mr. Ark and the order of the things, like I think something got lost in translation. I don't know. I think that there was some communication barrier. That is what I'm going to go with because I feel like they need to work out. Like they're my only hope this season. They need to stay together. Okay, that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Well, that's it for this recap. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.